This week, Sarah Huckabee Sanders promoted one of the White House's chief selling points about the Republican tax plan. The pitch: American households will get an additional $4,000 as a result of the tax overhaul proposed in September. The number comes from an estimate produced by the Council of Economic Advisors earlier this month. And while it's impossible to do a flat-out true or false fact-check on an estimate, this figure is likely to be repeated as the White House pushes tax overhaul, and there is reason to doubt that your household will get $4,000 or even anything close to it. What the White House claims. To be clear, this isn't the White House claiming that the average household would get a $4,000 tax cut as a result of the tax plan altogether. Indeed, depending on a variety of things that are still not laid out, how brackets are shifted around, which deductions will be eliminated, a change in the standard deduction, a new tax package could affect different people in wildly different ways. Rather, the White House is claiming that one part of the tax plan, the proposed corporate tax cut from 35% to 20%, would trickle down to workers as businesses bumped wages as a result of having smaller tax bills and also deciding to bring profits into the U.S. from overseas. The Council of Economic Advisors made this argument in a recent, controversial report posted on the White House website. In fact, that paper claims $4,000 is on the low end of its estimates. On the upper end, the average household could expect to get $9,000 back. The White House's method of getting to these numbers was simple. The C looked at estimates of how much corporate tax rates affect workers' wages, chose two estimates, one low and one high, and applied those to a 15-point corporate tax cut. Plugging in those numbers, along with average household income, around $83,000 in 2016, the White House found that the tax cut would boost that average household's income by around $4,000 to $9,000. But some economists say that math rests upon a shaky foundation. An economist fight ensues. Already, with the word average, there's reason for a taxpayer to doubt that she would receive $4,000 from this change in tax policy. After all, extremes make averages. The C report, for example, estimated the median household could get $3,000. But the debate over this $4,000 figure goes much deeper than that. Well-regarded top economists, including some from the left, former President Barack Obama's Treasury Secretary Larry Summers and his C chairman Jason Furman, and right, Harvard economist Greg Mankiw, soon piled on with their respective critiques and defenses of the C's report. One big sticking point in this debate is those figures that the C used in its math to get the $4,000 to $9,000 range. Economist Mihir Desai, whose work informed that math, tweeted that the C report misinterprets his results and therefore came up with estimates that are unrealistic. The C paper has also sparked fierce arguments over what share of the corporate tax burden workers bear. For one thing, the White House paper cited a variety of estimates for this, but it left out some that show labor's burden to be relatively small. For example, it cited a 2006 Congressional Budget Office report that said workers shoulder 70% of the corporate tax burden, but it did not cite a 2012 CBO report that said the figure was 25%. Another paper the C did not cite was a report from the Obama-era Treasury Department that said workers end up paying 18% of corporate taxes. As the Wall Street Journal's Richard Rubin reported in September, that paper recently disappeared from the Treasury website. However, another document saying that labor bears only 19% of the corporate tax burden still lives on the Treasury site.